My fiancé convinced dozens of women I was okay with him cheating, so I showed him how fast men would line up for his spot. Just tell me one thing about where we're getting married, I begged for the 100th time, and my fiancé laughed like he'd been waiting his whole life to torture me with a good surprise. 40 days out, and I didn't even know what continent we'd be on, just that I should pack light and tropical for the elopement he'd been secretly planning for months. He turned into this gorgeous mystery, taking calls in the garage and hiding credit card statements, knowing that surprises made me absolutely feral with anticipation. Since I owned the house we lived in, I figured searching every drawer and pocket for clues was fair game, but he'd learned to cover his tracks like a professional. So that Tuesday night, wedding butterflies kept me awake wondering about Santorini or Bali until I went for water and saw his office door open, computer still glowing. I tiptoed in hoping for hotel confirmations when Tinder notifications exploded across the screen, and my first thought was spam because we'd both deleted our dating apps the day we went exclusive. But when I walked closer and saw his face in the profile photo, the same photo from our engagement shoot where he's laughing at something I'd whispered, my stomach dropped through the floor. 8 months of activity stared back at me while I stood there in my pajamas, and his bio read, "My fiancé and I are exploring ethical non-monogamy, looking for someone special to join our journey." The messages made me want to throw up because woman after woman asked about meeting me, asked about boundaries, asked about our rules, and he'd responded to every single one like he was writing a FAQ about our fake open relationship. She's actually the one who suggested it, he'd told someone named Rebecca. And to another match he'd written, "We're getting married in 40 days and want to celebrate our security by opening things up, using our actual wedding as proof of this imaginary arrangement." The worst message came from someone named Ashley, who'd written, "So excited you'll be in Miami right after your ceremony, love that your fiancé understands you need your own adventures." And suddenly I realized two horrible things at once. First, he'd been telling women I supported his cheating, and second, the bastard picked Miami for our wedding destination. Like finding out your cheating fiancé also has terrible taste somehow made it worse. Standing in that office at 2 a.m. holding nothing but a glass of water and my shattered future, I made a decision that had nothing to do with tears and everything to do with justice. I went back to bed and lay there until his alarm went off at 6:30, kissed him goodbye like always when he left at 7, even waved from the window, then called in sick to work because revenge was about to become my full-time job. His computer was still logged into everything because why would you log out of your own computer in your fiancé's house? And his saved credit card made buying Tinder Gold almost embarrassingly easy. I deleted every single one of his carefully curated photos and replaced them with my best shots, including one from my friend's bachelorette party, where I looked absolutely lethal in a red dress that he'd said was too much when I'd worn it. His bio about polyamory disappeared completely because my photos would do all the talking. And then came the masterstroke of switching his preferences to show my new profile exclusively to men within a 50-mile radius. The likes started immediately, 2 in the first minute, 15 before I'd finished my coffee, and by lunch the counter showed 97 and climbing steadily. His phone must have been buzzing nonstop at work because the texts started around 2 p.m. First confused, then angry, then absolutely unhinged as he realized what was happening. "What did you do?" came through in all caps followed by 17 missed calls, and I responded with a single screenshot showing 156 likes and counting. He burst through the door at 3:30, looking like he'd run from downtown, sweating through his suit and gasping about privacy invasion and hacking and how I'd lost my mind completely. "Babe, I thought we were exploring ethical non-monogamy," I said with the sweetest smile I could manage, "just getting us some options for our open relationship. Isn't that what you wanted?" His face went through every color while he tried to explain, minimize, deflect, but I was already pulling his suitcase from our closet and informing him this was my house, and he had exactly 1 hour to pack. He left dragging his things to his car while I stood in my doorway, and now he tells people we broke up because I was too controlling, which makes me laugh every single time because I gave him exactly what he pretended to want, showing him all 212 options he lost when he lost me.